everybody. Just thought I'd show you my view of my desktop whilst the earthquake happened. Um, there was a prelude to this. I think there was a magnitude 6 earthquake that we saw. I'm not going to be on the screen for long. I just thought I'd...
EMSC Earthquake Reporting Station, RSSC, timed at 6 hours 35 minutes and 24 seconds, location Azerbaijan, with a magnitude of 3.4, depth, at 30 kilometers.
I just thought I would share this. So there was a pre-quake at 7:06 UTC, which is upcoming in a minute. JQuake is actually not doing anything at the moment. The sound may be quite loud, so here it comes in.
地震予測震度4、石川県能登地方、マグニチュード 5.7、最大震度5強。
So this was the pre-quake before the 7.5. It did actually wiggle the PSTN orbit.
マグニチュード 5.8、最大震度6弱。マグニチュード 5.9、マグニチュード 6.0、マグニチュード 5.9、マグニチュード 5.4、最大震度5強。震度5強、石川。マグニチュード 5.9、最大震度6弱。マグニチュード 5.4、最大震度5強。マグニチュード 5.6、マグニチュード 5.9、最大震度6弱。マグニチュード 5.6、最大震度5強。マグニチュード 5.8、最大震度6弱。最大震度5強。マグニチュード 5.9、最大震度6弱。マグニチュード 5.8、最大震度5強。マグニチュード 5.9、最大震度6弱。マグニチュード 5.8、最大震度5強。最大震度6弱。最大震度5強。最大震度6弱。最大震度
Okay,
5強。
they're revising the earthquake up and down. This arrival time is arrival time in Tokyo time, so that's the outer wave, of course, that they would feel. Those bips, I think, are ground movements.
Event timed at 07 hours 04 minutes UTC with a magnitude of 1.42 at a depth of 2.49 kilometers, 12 kilometers north-northeast of Goleta CA. Reporting on the significant earthquakes in the last 24 hours. There has been 1 significant earthquake in the last 24 hours. Earthquake occurred at 14 hours 27 minutes UTC with a magnitude of 5.3 at a depth of 1080 kilometers east-northeast of Baiyin, China.
And that must...
Returning back to main earthquakes.
They're probably doing the China ones because of the devastation that it had on the city in the previous earthquake. So this one would have been upgraded, I think, to a 6 because it actually rattled these, which will come in at around probably about 10 minutes after the event when it comes to the west coast of America. When the waves shocked through the world. Okay, it's now reported on here. It's reported as a 5.3 or 5.5.
A strong earthquake of maximum measured intensity of 5 upper occurred.
I think it came in bigger than that, so and I think that's right. So this was a pre-shock. So people should have been alerted by this, and hopefully.
Quake early warning. Strong
県
shaking
能登
expected.
地方、マグニチュード 5.5、 最大震度5強。
Strong shaking expected.
石川、予想震度5。能登半島沖、マグニチュード 5.7、最大震度5弱。石川県能登地方、最大震度5強。マグニチュード 5.8。石川、予想震度6。マグニチュード 5.7。マグニチュード 5.9。最大震度6弱。マグニチュード 5.8。最大震度5強。能登半島沖、マグニチュード 6.1。
So this was the bigger. This was the bigger one.
最大震度6強。マグニチュード 6.3。マグニチュード 6.5。
So JQuake is expanding to the rest of the country because it's going to impact the rest of the country, the shockwaves. They're expanding it
マグニチュード 6.6。 最大震度7。
because they
震度
know
6強。
tsunamis might be
震
generated.
度5強。富山、震度5弱。岐阜、震度4。新潟、長野、福井、震度2。福島、栃木、山梨、震度1。群馬、茨城。
I have no idea what my microphone level's like. You might hear in the background, if NVIDIA's not working, that there are earthquakes still happening in Japan as I record this. I was asleep when it happened. Just looking back on it. So they've got it as a magnitude 6.6 at the moment. It's a bit strange that on the west coast it's a depth of 10 kilometers, because normally the further away the subduction zone, the deeper it is. But of course Japan is very complex when it comes to tectonic plate faults. Okay, they just upgraded to 7.4. So it should trigger a few more alerts. Comes to tsunamis. We normally see most earthquakes on the east coast.
A very strong earthquake of maximum measured intensity of 6 upper occurred.
Okay, this
A
is
tsunami warning has been issued.
JQuake, male voice, which is quite interesting. That's not mine. So that's not my program doing that. That's JQuake. So not only does JQuake speak Japanese, they speak English. The Japanese earthquake scale is different than the universal one.
EMSC, moderate to strong earthquake warning 5. EMSC earthquake reporting station, GFZ, timed at 7 hours 6 minutes and 11 seconds, location near west coast of Honshu, Japan, with a magnitude of 5.5, depth, at 48 kilometers.
So that was EMSC doing the pre-quake. So that's how slow it was. So it took quite a long time to come in. So this is 7:14 UTC. Some 8 minutes delayed. Again, it's New Year's, so I would imagine the people authorising them and proofreading the earthquakes are on holiday, and you've only got temporary staff, or at least less qualified staff doing the authorizations of the earthquakes and the release.
EMSC Earthquake Reporting Station, LIM, timed at 7 hours 6 minutes and 7 seconds, location near coast of central Peru, with a magnitude of 4.2, depth, at 35 kilometers.
I can see that the tsunami warning is actually still for Indonesia on the NOAA map. So that hasn't been updated yet. The EMSC has recorded the first one as a 5.7 by JMA, which is the official Japanese station.
Good morning. The time is 7:15 in the UK.
My time was off by about 2 minutes. Sorry about that. I've corrected that now. Firmware clock on the server is slightly different, and I rebooted it, so it was 2 minutes delayed. These dots are dot are ground movement shakes, I believe.
A major earthquake of maximum measured intensity of 7 occurred.
I was going to go off the screen, but I'll continue being on the screen as I watch this play out. And now you can just see on the left hand bottom that the first earthquake is actually being recorded on. So that was the first earthquake that's moved its seismic wave over to the West Coast earthquake centres. So that's the first one. So that's why I think it was bigger than they originally said it was, a 5.7. So the 7.1 has come in now in EMSC, as you can see on the bottom right hand side. So that's the first network that's recorded it. What they do now is they collate all these stations together and get the average, I believe, to record it. So IGN has got it at 7.3, GFS has got it down as a 6.7. No idea where MIX is.
Earthquake early warning. Strong shaking expected.
Okay. So
Earthquake early warning.
These are
strong shaking expected.
aftershocks. So Japanese time is 16:18. So so it was in the afternoon there. This one at a 6.7. This aftershock, this might have been a little bit scary as well. Got this one in the sea as opposed to on land, so been a little bit. They've moved it a little bit downwards. Oops, sorry. Still very thirsty. hasn't announced it yet, nor has EMSC officially, so they're reviewing it probably before releasing it. EMSC is obviously a better way of recording it here, even though audibly JQuake is the better thing to listen for. So they're collating all the networks together to get the final magnitude. Flashing lines on the coastlines are the warning areas for tsunami.
EMSC Earthquake Reporting Station, GNS, timed at 6 hours 59 minutes and 50 seconds, location North Island of New Zealand, with a magnitude of 3.2, depth, at 175 kilometers.
JQuake has moved in for a closer look. See, this is probably all automatic because the
Moderate USGS earthquake event timed at 07 hours 06 minutes UTC with a magnitude of 5.5 at a depth of 10 kilometers 42 kilometers northeast of Anamaiju, Japan.
Okay, so that was a very slow reaction to the first one. Now you can see the major one coming onto the PSTN or Pacific West Coast sensors on the left hand bottom side, and that's the major earthquake hitting it now. So it's very delayed, of course, because it takes a bit of time to get to the west coast of America.
EMSC Earthquake Reporting Station, NSNA, timed at 7 hours 11 minutes and 30 seconds, location San Juan, Argentina, with a magnitude of 3.0, depth, at 101 kilometers.
See, the EMS as USGS map has been updated for the 7.4 they've got. So that means the bells will be going off for the this is
Warning major magnitude 7 plus reported USGS earthquake event timed at 07 hours 10 minutes UTC with a magnitude of 7.4 at a depth of 0 kilometers 39 kilometers northeast of Anamaiju, Japan.
that is my warning. So that noise is my warning when there's a loud one. I think it actually, when it updates, it's going to give another warning. So it's very delayed because USGS has just put it on their main maps. As you can see, it hasn't gone on to Earthquake 3D in the top right hand corner, the globe. All our programs take a little bit of time to feed into our programs. So JQuake is the fastest. Obviously, it needs to be authorized before it goes on to the feeds of USGS, which is what it's just done. And obviously, Earthquake 3D takes it a little bit slower. When you'll hear the bongs going off for the 7, so you hear the 7 bells. Kilauea looks very intense on the thermals. Sadly, plots haven't been updated yet for the intensity graph. I need to move those up later.
A strong earthquake of maximum measured intensity of 5 up or occurred.
Warning: major magnitude 7 plus reported USGS, earthquake, event timed at 07 hours 10 minutes UTC with a magnitude of 7.4 at a depth of 40 kilometers 36 kilometers northeast of Mag, Japan.
That was the second one, so that was obviously updated. And obviously they've had their post shock as well for 6.1. So it looks like they've had the pre-shock at 4:06 JST of 5.7. Then they had the 7.4 at 4:10, and then they had a post shock of 6.1 at 16:18 JST. Hopefully you're finding my new EMSC announcements okay. Took a long time to write. I was being lazy.
USGS, earthquake, event timed at 07 hours 20 minutes UTC with a magnitude of 1.18 at a depth of 9.65 kilometers 17 kilometers north-northeast of Bradbury, CA.
Beeps are all the boreholes kicking off still around that area, warning that there might be a impending shock. What all the squares are for. In JQuake. They're recording movement of some description. No.
Warning: major magnitude 7 plus reported USGS, earthquake, event timed at 07 hours 10 minutes UTC with a magnitude of 7.5 at a depth of 10 kilometers 42 kilometers northeast of Anamaiju, Japan.
So that was the third update from USGS using my program, so they must change the event ID, I would imagine, as opposed to updating it. Because I go by event ID. The squares are going off everywhere in Japan. I think that might indicate the whole of Japan is moving. Still, there's no update on Earthquake 3D, which is quite interesting. So that's a very slow data feed coming in from Earthquake 3D. Even though it's been published in the
EMSC, moderate to strong earthquake warning 6. EMSC earthquake reporting station, GFZ, timed at 7 hours 18 minutes and 48 seconds, location near west coast of Honshu, Japan, with a magnitude of 6.1, depth at 53 kilometers.
That's the post shock. Here's Earthquake 3D being updated. Circle now on Earthquake 3D.
It's 7:30 in the UK.
Okay, you can see all the tsunami area of the west coast.
An earthquake of maximum
Flashing.
measured intensity of 3 occurred.
There's Ishikawa Prefecture. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. So we can see on the graphs here, probably the 6.1 as well. Again, they come in delayed. Okay, we can see the tsunami warning effect is in place there. Okay, and they've got it as a first one was a UTC, so 5.7, 6.1, 7.6, then a 4.5. So these roll off because it's the Japan section of the rotating thing. Look at the volcanoes. No volcanoes. I don't think there's any volcanoes around this area. I don't know. Never. Of course, that's Mount Fuji and Sakurajima down at the bottom. Okay, so that's where my coverage ends. Okay, thank you. Hopefully that was informative, and hopefully it took you through my desktop as well. So this is just my desktop that I display. That's been running now for very many years, and thanks to the moderators, Jackie, who is always online, and all the other mods that keep the chat sane and sensible. Thank you to them for looking after the channels whilst I sleep. Thank you. Bye.